to juggle two screens. So if I'm not looking at the camera, that's why I've got another restream platform on another computer, which I'm just monitoring. But it's juggling. It's a juggling act, and it's a new bit of software in the new year. We're all in sessions as opposed to Zoom. We've kind of moved away from Zoom now. So hopefully, if you're tuning in online, just pop a comment in the chat. It'd be great to have you follow along with us. So this morning's session is kind of a carry on from last week. Last week was finding prospects for free. We looked at a couple of little strategies around LinkedIn, basic searches, some more advanced searches. We also tapped into group searches, I believe, as well. So today we're going to have a look a little bit more at some other tools out there that you can use to kind of find prospects. And for free as well. So that's the beauty of this. Before we do that, it'd be good to just have a quick round the room, super quick. The session runs up until about 10 o'clock today, so it's half an hour. But if we can just have a quick round the room, see who's in the room. Let me stop the screen share. Hopefully, I can see who else is in the room. Is anyone brave enough to pipe up first, or do I need to run round and pick on people?
Yeah, I don't mind doing it, Alex.
Go for it, Mike. Thank you.
So my name is Mike Hall. Morning, everybody. And my business is around creating bespoke abstract art. So I work with clients with their branding colours to create unique pieces of art like the one behind me, whether that's interior designers, fit-out companies, or actual business owners. So that's what I do.
Thanks, Mike. And you're an established Leadith client already. It's good to have existing clients on board as well. Anyone else want to introduce themselves? Now's a great chance.
Yeah, hi, I'll do that.
Oh, hello, Sean.
Hi. So I'm with Xanthos. We're a digital marketing agency based in Cambridge, and I'm in charge of bringing on new clients for our digital marketing and website agency.
Happy New Year to you, Sean. Great to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I see Gary's there. Gary, are you with us? Neka, good to see you in the room. Hi, Neka. Happy New Year to you. Welcome back.
Happy New Year. Yeah, sorry I've been away. Just my day job.
That's all right. Obviously you haven't come away from it yet. How's
the goal for 2024?
Yeah, excellent. How's the new venture shaping?
Slowly but surely. Nice. Yeah, it's time for massive action.
Just give everyone else a quick intro in terms of what it is you're up to.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy New Year. My name is Neka. I'm a business and mindset coach, and I help female entrepreneurs suffer from overwhelm with their business to achieve success with their business. So that's me.
Great. Yeah, I tend to attract a lot of coaches and consultants on these calls. I can see Andrew's also in the room. Had a lovely one-to-one with Andrew yesterday, and Andrew's in Canada, so he's it's like 4 o'clock in the morning or something really silly. So well done, Andrew, for making the session today. Also, we've got a Jessica there. I'm not sure who Jessica is, but if you're on, feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I work for Paul Budgeon on the EDR magazine. I'm his new business development manager for the year. So he asked that I would join and have a little listen in to what you guys have to say.
Brilliant. Thank you. You're most welcome, Jessica. Good to have you with us. And also Richard, good friend of mine. Richard, good to see you this morning.
Yes, thanks, Alex. Sorry I couldn't make the last one, but and I thought this one was somehow 9 o'clock, so I tried to join it, and then I was half an hour early, and now I'm a few minutes late. It sometimes happens that way.
Yeah, no worries. We actually changed the time this year. We used to be 9 o'clock till 10. We've just shortened the masterclasses to kind of 9:30 till 10 now, so a shorter. Cramming a little more content in, but spreading it out. So this is kind of an extension to what we were looking at last week in terms of meeting. Hi, Lulu. Just going to say good morning to yourself. I'm just going to mute everyone because they're getting a bit of noise on the call. Sorry, Richard. I've just muted you. If anyone's got a question, just feel free to pop it in the chat. There's a Q&A area at the bottom of the chat. So this is going live to LinkedIn, also to YouTube. The kind of proactive guys, they're in on this sessions link, which is a bit like a Zoom meeting. That's where it's a bit more interactive. We can have a discussion. We can help each other. So I think Gary's in the chat there. Morning, Gary, to you. We can't hear you. Do you want one last try at introducing yourself, Gary? No, we can't hear you. Might be your microphone's not connected, but we'll kick off with what we've got planned today. So as I said, the lead generation, LinkedIn lead generation masterclass. It's a 13 kind of week program, kind of stretched out the journey that I take clients on at Leadeth into little bite-sized chunks, so you can learn lots of tips and lots of actionable insights as we go along on these masterclasses. Step one, we'll just share some slides so you can see what we're about and what we're up to. Yeah, that one. So last week we kind of picked up on LinkedIn basic searches, LinkedIn groups. We'll look at LinkedIn events. We'll tap into the Apollo marketing tool, which is a really powerful tool for marketing and finding prospects. Certainly, if you're interested in email marketing, it's a really powerful tool for that as well. So just as a quick introduction, very warm welcome to everyone that's joined us. It's great to see these events getting more popular and more users coming along. That's fantastic. So this morning's session, we're just going to continue to build out on those proven strategies that I use kind of day in, day out with clients in terms of finding prospects using LinkedIn. LinkedIn, a very powerful B2B network. It's the place where you want to be. It's probably the cheapest marketing tactic that I know of. Certainly, if you compare it to kind of B2B marketing, pay-per-click, and SEO, and some of the other kind of traditional marketing methods that have been around for years. But social media marketing, it's basically relationship building through LinkedIn, connecting you with people, automating the process, and that's what we do at Leadeth. So we have a software tool that helps that whole process. I'm the founder of Leadeth, trying to build up the business from scratch over the last 3 years. The software is white labeled, so it's actually a proven system. Any software to do with LinkedIn, you've got to make sure it works because the algorithm changes every day. So if you've got a team of developers behind you, that really helps. So I've partnered with a huge company who've provided some fantastic software tools, and then I'm coaching people in the software and supporting them with that. This is a great place where I tend to start most of these masterclasses. It's the marketing funnel, and this describes that customer journey from the first touch point and beyond. And the beauty with this is Leadeth can be used at kind of every element of that journey. It's called a funnel because obviously the number of customers decreases at each stage of the journey, and like liquid flowing through a funnel, the stages, you've got awareness, which is right at the top of the funnel. When a prospect first becomes aware of whatever it is you're doing or your brand, they then move down into interest, and that's when they start learning and considering your offering. They move on to consideration, where they're weighing up their options, comparing you to others maybe, and then they move down into this purchase stage. And beyond that, you've got retention, where you retain them as a loyal customer. Now, these days, this has been kind of revolutionized, and we have this flywheel effect. So it's a circular version which goes on forever. Very similar model, but it emphasizes the ongoing relationship with customers rather than just an initial sale. It's called the flywheel because just like a flywheel in a machine, you give it a little bit of momentum and then it becomes self-sustaining over time. And once you bolt in different elements into that flywheel, it just kind of runs itself, which is what Leadeth's about. I'm a big fan of automation and using automation to your advantage. So we've got attract, and that's obviously a bit like the awareness stage. We're attracting new prospects into our lead magnets, into our funnels, into our systems, into our web pages, into ebooks, whatever it is that you've put yourself out there, the bit of value that you've got going on, whether it's a digital quiz or a traditional webinar like this. We've got to move them into the next stage, and that's engaging with them. Giving them a fantastic customer service, delighting them is the next stage where they become loyal fans. You've got advocate stage, and they share your brand and your products with new potential prospects who are then brought into the cycle. So by understanding this kind of marketing funnel and the flywheel, it helps us to kind of understand the pivotal role of lead generation as well in what we're doing. Outreach is vital, and without kind of lead gen and outreach at the top of that funnel, you're not going to be getting too much down the bottom end. So it's really essential to part of that whole sales process. just as a quick recap, so this is the lead gen model, which I've adopted. Stage 1 consists of identifying the target audience, making sure you know who that audience is. Today, we're looking at kind of how we might be able to niche down and find different niche audiences, share some ideas, a bit more of an interactive session today. Stage 2 is all about the personal LinkedIn profile, making sure that that is in alignment with your target audience. So once you know who the audience is, we need to have a profile that's really compelling, speaking with clarity to that audience so they know what you're about, they know the solutions that you solve. There's alignment there. The LinkedIn outreach automation, stage 3, that's when we start to build the campaigns, build these automation campaigns that are going to connect with people. They're going to like their posts, comment on their posts, and automatically drive them into the next stage, which is an email conversation, a warm email. And we want ideally to, for you to sit more meetings with people, for you to, whatever your call to action is in your sales journey, we want to achieve that goal with you. So step 5 is a little bit of an odd one because this is all kind of mainly around an outreach strategy. But step 5 is all about having a content strategy to support your outreach strategy. So if you're putting regular content out there on LinkedIn, that's going to be really helpful to, drive inbound leads as well as all your outbound activity as well. And stage 6 is very much about the systems, the automation, getting all that in place, having a central inbox where all your leads are coming back to you. You've got templated responses and messages that you can just fire back. And the more you can automate that, that's going to give you back more time and hopefully more sales. I'm just going to skip a couple of slides on this. Do watch back last week if you want to catch up some more of the essential stuff that we looked at. Let's just go to stop sharing on that one. Okay, so when it comes to niching down, I'm going to try and find a whiteboard. This is the very first time I'm using this bit of software. Create a whiteboard. Here we go. Hopefully you can still see this. Can everybody see that? Can somebody just pipe up and say, "Yeah, I can see the whiteboard"?
Yep, got it.
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, this is a very interactive whiteboard. It looks like other people can join me on what we're doing. Wow. Maybe I should have locked it up a little bit more. But what we're talking about then is niching down. So with niching, we've got this kind of like, I'm going to just draw a bit of a triangle here. And over this side on the left of the triangle, we've got a broad.
I can't see anything.
You can't see anything. Can anybody else see? Are you in the sessions window?
Just see a white bit, a white space. That's all.
All right. Can anybody else see what I'm drawing?
Yeah, it's pretty fine.
You can see fine. So I think it's just yourself. You might need to hop off the call and hop back in, and that might improve it. I'll switch the collaborative features off to not to distract everyone with that. But over here, you've got the broad appeal. Okay, so this is reaching out to absolutely everyone. Oh, Lulu's still in there. A few people are moving around on this interactive whiteboard, but it's great. And then we've got the narrow. Great. And then we've got the narrow appeal on the right-hand side. So the broad appeal, it's harder to make money. We'll just put a £1 sign on there. And over on the narrow appeal, we're going to put a couple of pound signs on there. So there's several different positions that people kind of market. The broad appeal down here, right on this end of the spectrum, you've got what we call influencers. So I'll just put influencers there. And then in the middle here, this is where we put what we call experts of their field. Experts. And then right the way over here on the kind of narrow appeal or the niche, you could call it niche appeal. We'll write niche here. Niche. Okay, so this is a sliding scale. You've got broad, reaching out to everyone and everyone. It's harder to make that money because there's so many people there. It's a very crowded space to be in with what you're doing. So it's harder to get that attention and stand out. No matter how slick your marketing is, you're fighting up against some big giants there. And then we've got the kind of expert level, which is kind of a little bit in between. So you might still attract a bit of the broad market, but you're starting to kind of refine your products and services down and be a bit more niche. And then over on the kind of right-hand side of the diagram here, we've got the narrow appeal. And the narrow appeal, it's easier for you to get attention because there's a lot less people in that space. And it's a lot easier for you to make money, and you can charge a lot more for your services because you're an expert in your field in that specific niche area. So all your marketing, your case studies are very relevant to that audience. So on the broad appeal is what we call an influencer. So as an example, I could say I'm a LinkedIn influencer. I'm just, LinkedIn is my platform, and that is my broad appeal to everyone else on LinkedIn. Whereas on the expert side here, what I would be saying is, oh, actually, I'm interested in maybe social selling on LinkedIn. So selling with a sales slant on LinkedIn. So that would put me as an expert because I've gone through not just everyone on LinkedIn, but now focusing on maybe just sales as a bit of a area. And then if we talk about niche, I mean, it could be I'm now talking about social selling for tech startups. And that's really super niche. And there's not going to be as many people that are doing LinkedIn social selling for tech startups. And because I'm talking so precisely about that specific niche, that's going to help me to really refine what my audience, what I'm talking about. The people that are coming into those sorts of funnels are going to be red hot people because clearly that's the solution. You're going straight to that really niche solution. Now, on the other side, we should have an example of maybe an accountant or specifically maybe a Xero accountant. Xero is an accountancy software we have heavily used over here in the UK. So an expert might be a Xero accountant for maybe startups, and then on the narrow appeal, what you could have is a Xero accountant specializing in tech startups. So that could be their niche. So their niche is tech startups. So all their marketing is refined for that specific audience. So hopefully that's just helping you to just understand, you've got the broad appeal. Think about your campaigns that you're doing on LinkedIn. Think about that audience. How can we really try to kind of move down this away from this broad appeal to a really narrow thing? And I know some of you guys on the call are really niche specific, which is fantastic, and you're already kind of really dominating this kind of niche area, which is super cool. So just wanted to share that with you. I think that's really good to understand that in your business, no matter kind of where you are in the business, whether you're kind of still putting your business plan together. If you can kind of skip the hurdles and miss the broad thing and go straight into the niche, I think that's really going to help. Any questions from that? Anyone want to kind of share some insights? Be good to kind of come back into the room.
Yeah, I'm happy to share one or two, Alex, if you want.
Go for it, Mike.
I was doing a bit of searching yesterday on through the posts, using hashtags to search that. And actually then, because I'm really being specific on who I want to talk to, that actually resulted in me getting a meeting next week.
Wow.
So, when I'm trying to focus on interior designers, or I'm focusing on fit out companies. Then if I focus on that really helps. It's like me trying to sell a painting tuber on LinkedIn. It's not going to work.
Yeah, that's right. And it's it's just, if you're niching down that much, you can probably start to drive your prices higher. I would have thought as well.
Yes, I'm waiting till I get in the Tate, and then I'll be able to put the prices right up.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike. Does anyone else have any further insights around that? And Nika, I can see your hand. Is that your hand up? Just unmute yourself if you're.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Go for it.
I just kind of like clarified my niche as you're talking now, because I was saying,
brilliant.
Now I've niched it down to tech because I am an IT person. I'm an IT geek, so I'm also just go and help female entrepreneurs in that space. So I'm trying to help every female entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I have niched it down now to female IT in tech. I might even go down to a particular kind of tech sector.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to niche it down even further. So yeah. Thank you so much for that.
That's all right.
Just light bulb moment.
And Lulu, I know you've sat in on this session before, Lulu. So, but always great to hear from you.
Well, I've simplified. I've simplified it to manufacturing, learning and development heads, and I've also added to deliver what benefits. So I've got simplify the learning process, management of information, and retention of information. It's bizarre because obviously everybody needs video. That's what we sell, a video platform. But it seems we've had to work out who needs it the most desperately, who has the least budget, even though our product isn't necessarily cheap if you only want one video in a year, but it's if you want to scale your video. So that's where the complication comes in, because the problem is that people don't know they can scale until they know about our platform. Because we don't market our platform, they don't know about us.
Yeah, I find that's one of the biggest challenges that I've got. LinkedIn is a great tool, and it can be used in so many different sectors for me personally. And what I need to do is start to build out the case study. So I've got a great client who's in financial services and insurance specifically. So what I'm doing is niching down, creating a specific landing page just focused for the insurance sector. And that's where I can bring about insurance related case studies. And when I run campaigns on LinkedIn, I can go and target people involved in marketing of insurance companies, because they would get what I'm talking about. Certainly, if they visit the landing page, it would all make sense to them, because it talks about generating more quotes and proposals, which is what the insurance sector do. Whereas, the terminology is different if you're on a broader scale. So yeah, that's really cool. Any further comments before we move on to maybe the Apollo tool and start to kind of find some of these niches?
Yeah, you have AI that sends out emails. Does your AI also filter through and look for these specific people in the industry that you're after?
So I guess what you're talking about is buyer signals or intent signals. So a lot of software platforms these days now have, we'll actually look at it in the Apollo. Apollo's a great system, but it basically, if you're viewing a website from a company web page, the likelihood is the company has a fixed, what we call an IP address, an internet protocol address for their business. So that any employee that goes on to a website, it's all tracked down to that fixed IP address. And that's where you can start to track whether certain businesses have been looking at a certain thing. So it could be something in the tech space. It could be someone's been investigating, scheduling software, and then the data providers basically can obtain a list of, IPs and companies that are associated with that website. So all the people that have clicked on that website from the tech space. And then we're starting to get more of these kind of buyer intent signals around. Obviously, there's a lot of people that opt out of that sort of stuff completely. But with cookies rising and more stuff happening, and they're collecting huge amounts of data. So AIs are now pretty clever. You could say who's currently looking in the market for video software or whatever it is, and boom, you've got some hot leads who are actually, just so happens they've been looking at video marketing tools. Boom, what a great bit of timing for you to be sending an email or connecting with them on LinkedIn. So we're seeing more and more of that. I'll showcase Apollo is a great system because Apollo does it really well. Has anyone got any further comments before I move into a bit of an Apollo walkthrough? That's great. Okay, so I'm just going to share the Apollo tool. So Apollo is it's a tool that's been widely used kind of over the years. It's growing in lots of people are using it. The great thing with Apollo is it's free. So if you wanted to pull 50 targeted prospects per month, you can do that on the free plan. You haven't got to pay a penny. If you like the data and you're getting good results from the Apollo data, then you can actually subscribe to it from about $49 a month. Or there's a pro plan at $99 a month. And they basically give you more data unlocks and different things. So I'm just on the free version here. I'm just going to demo what you can typically achieve on the free. Oh, my trial has expired, so I'm not going to be able to do it. Oh, dear. Maybe I've logged in wrong account. Bear with me. That's annoying. They've just changed it. So the trials used to just run on and run on. I probably just need to go down and click free, do I? Current plan. Confirm changes. That should put me back onto the free plan. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, right. So back into the free plan at Apollo, you've got the search box. Some of you will recognize this. I mean, Sales Navigator is a very similar tool, but a different data set. The beauty is with the Apollo's data set, it's a bigger data set and it covers LinkedIn as well. So if you were trying to connect with people on LinkedIn, this would actually give you their LinkedIn URLs, profile URLs as well, which is really, really powerful. So we can go into here. We've got we can set up lists of searches. We can set up different personas if we wanted to. Most people start off with a job title or something like that. So it could be just. Does anyone want to shout out a job title just so we can do a few searches?
Lead and development.
What was that? Development.
Lead and development. L&D. Learning and development. Sorry.
So there's a learning development manager.
Yeah.
Consultant coordinator.
Just put learning and development if you can, because
See what that does.
yeah, I mean,
so we've got 87,000 results here.
Wow.
Yeah, so potentially a huge opportunity. I'm just going to make the screen a little bit bigger. There's a lot of data on that screen. So we now kind of refine this down a little bit more, and niche down is what we want to do. So we can choose what sort of seniority level.
C-suite, yeah.
Yeah, so if we want top level people, then we've got 138 now. Obviously, if we wanted to include owners, founders, director level is a huge chunk of people as well. So yeah, I mean that's how we would go about bringing in. And obviously, with the free version of Apollo, you could bring in 50 of these prospects, and you can access their email addresses. You can have a look at different information in terms of their LinkedIn profile. So if you click on the actual person, that would bring up their LinkedIn profile as well. If you sign up to the Apollo tool, from I think it's either the Pro plan, $99 a month, or upwards, it starts to unlock extra things. Obviously, location you can unlock, but you've got these different things here, like the buying intent, which we spoke about earlier. So, I mean, I've just put in marketing automation software, which is probably one of my previous buying intents that I've used. So that would help me to find who's in the market for that specific software. You can also check for just verified emails as well. If you only wanted emails that definitely delivered, you can do that as well from the software. Specific technologies. So the paid plans will let you go into specific technology detail, different software, Microsoft users, Apple users, to really kind of refine what you're doing. If you're in the tech space, then Crunchbase is another similar platform to this. Crunchbase is great if you're after tech data. If you're after looking up what types of website platforms people are using, then Built With is another really good tool to do that. So the idea here, obviously, we've got a list of these prospects. We can then select the first 25 in the list here, because I'm only on the free version, and we can export this list out. And that's when we go over into a system like Leadith, which is where we can then do an import. So I'll just show you how we would do that. If you're a Leadith client, this might be helpful as well. We go to campaigns, and this is the back end of the Leadith tool. And we can now click on a new campaign. Just go for a simple campaign if you want, or we can do a smart campaign with a bit more conditional logic. Or just for the demo, I'll show you a simple campaign. Share this tab instead. Hopefully you guys can see that now. There we go. Yep. Sorry, I was sharing the wrong one. I've got two shares on the go. I've got a live stream share, and then I've got you guys. So so we come up to a new campaign, and that's where we would go to CSV file, and then we can import all that data from Apollo. So those 50 free records a month can be added to a specific campaign there. You can run email marketing campaigns here from the Leadith tool as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an overview of what we're doing over at how we're using Apollo basically to scrape a bit more data. So if you're struggling for numbers of prospects and numbers of leads, then yeah. That kind of concludes that little section. So thanks for bearing with me there. Any quick? I'm okay for 5 more minutes. I haven't got a dash off today, so happy to keep the room open if anyone wants to chat a bit further. Excellent, thank you. Well done. So yeah, let's have a look. Mechanical engineer. Yeah, great, Richard. Polymeme. Yep. So it's someone's asking, do we not need LinkedIn Sales Navigator? Presumably, it kind of depends really what your outreach strategy is. If LinkedIn is a part of your strategy, then Sales Navigator is always going to help and is always going to be helpful. And if you've got the budget, it's great. LinkedIn is kind of purely I have LinkedIn Basic, so I don't have Sales Navigator. So Apollo means I can just top up some campaigns with extra prospects that I might have not found on LinkedIn. So hopefully that answers that. Sean's talking about safe to use data for cold email campaigns. Yep, this data is widely available. It's people's corporate company addresses. If you're doing B2B marketing, I don't see that as any issues around kind of GDPR. Any other questions at all? No, not at all. I mean, so premium versions of premium versions of LinkedIn purely allow you to do more filtering. So if you're looking to filter by the size of the business, number of employees in the business, or if you want to do some clever searches where you're looking at different industry sectors, and then you wanted to filter maybe with a really enhanced postcode radius search of that business or something like that, that would allow you to do that. But in terms of reaching out, connecting to people, I'm putting out 800 connection requests every single month, which is 400, which is doubling the amount of what LinkedIn recommend. And I haven't been banned. I've still got my original profile for 14 years. So Sales Navigator is not essential, especially if you work with Leadith, because we've got our own built-in prospect finder tool, very similar to the Apollo tool, but without buyer intent. As a simpler version of the Apollo tool, we've got that built into Leadith. Yeah. So next week and the week after, we're actually going to drive into stage 2 of that kind of Leadith roadmap, and it's looking at your personal LinkedIn profile. Hoping to line up a guest speaker actually, who's a bit of an expert in terms of branding yourself on LinkedIn. So hopefully that will be a great session. If you liked what you've heard today, be great for you to kind of have a one-to-one strategy call with me. Purpose of those calls are just to make sure you can get maximum value out of what I'm doing at Leadith. If I can help you with some strategies, I help you to refine your lead gen outreach strategy, I'd love to do that. So head over to leadith.io/strategy. There's only a couple of sessions available actually on there. I think the 11th, maybe the 11th of January. So I'll open up some more sessions as time goes. I'm actually trying to get a sales closer. He's just being onboarded this week, so hopefully I'll suddenly have lots more sessions, so people can book those sessions. But thank you everyone. Thank you for joining me on the LinkedIn Lead Gen Masterclass today.